Testing. Howdy. Well, I've written a few things. I've been off trail for a few weeks, healing up from my sciatica, and now I'm back to normal, and just wanted to do like a Q&A, just things that I thought maybe people had questions about. And then I'll also talk about the gear that I've used at the end. Alright, so let's get to it. The first topic was periods. I know that a couple of other YouTubers have covered periods before, but I'll just put my input. I have a pretty regular flow period or whatever, and I had it like a week before trail. And then once I started, never got my period, not once. No spotting, no nothing. So exercise really does put a stop to it usually. What I brought was, I had a menstrual cup and then a couple tampons just in case. And since I never used it, I just kind of threw the tampons in the hiker box and just kept the cup. So yeah. Next item I have on my list is brushing teeth. On the PCT at least, there's long water carries in the desert. Excuse me. And so on some mornings and some nights, I had to make the hard decision of whether or not I would brush my teeth or save that water. And it kind of, like, my teeth suffered because of it, because there's a lot of instances where I just couldn't brush my teeth. I had no water, or no water to waste at least. And so, yeah, my teeth suffered because of it. But I would also say to make sure to maybe bring, like, they have these mini bottles of Orajel, and I would bring one of those because I got tooth pain just one night, but it was bad, and I wish I had it. The Voltaren gel. It used to be a prescription, but now it's over the counter. And I'm going to squeeze that into like a small container, and bring it on trail because it is a great anti-inflammation gel. Vaping and smoking on trail. I know a lot of you don't do any of that business, but there are some, and people have questions. So I'm going to answer them honestly without judgment. Quite a few people smoked and or vaped on trail, I've got to say. Or if they didn't, they were, and they just recently quit. I would literally say at least 30 to 40% of people I came into contact with. What smokers usually did is they would just buy a couple packs and they would make it last until they got to the next town. Vapors, I only came into contact with one or two people that had the vape system. Most people either used Juuls or disposables. Now, I have gotten my smoking down quite a bit, but not to the point of a Juul or a disposable. I would have to use either one Juul pod or one disposable a day. And for me, that's just too expensive. That comes to $5 to $10 a day, depending on what you choose. Now, other people can make those last longer. So a Juul pod maybe lasts 3 days. Well, that's a good price. 5 days every 3 days? No biggie. But $5 every single day, well, that's going to be an issue for me. So yeah, most of them did that. For me, my vape system, I have the Smoke Mini. This one's the Scar Mini. I have another one that's just like this. It's got a different name. I use the regular size battery. These are between 3,000 to 3,600 milliamps, depending on what you get. This one's a 3,400 milliamp. I bring 2 of these on trail, and I either charge them when I'm going to sleep. I charge them before I go on trail, so then I have 2 full batteries that are fully charged. But I'll either flip-flop charge them or charge them when I'm sleeping on trail, or these vapes also have the capability of charging directly through the vape. So sometimes, most of the times, I'll actually do that when I'm on trail because it's just the easiest route to do. For me, I have a mod. So I have the Voopoo PNP mod, and this makes it so it's magnetic. This is plastic right here, and you fill from the bottom, and it's just so much easier. And it's a huge tank, so you can fill it up, and you don't have to fill it up for a while. The coils, I'll bring like 5 coils with me because they weigh absolutely nothing, and then I change them maybe once a week, so I don't go through them too quickly. And then I'll usually have 2 to 3 bottles of vape juice, so about 300 milliliters on 2 to 300 milliliters. And that usually lasts me like a month. The 5 coils and the 3 bottles, or at least maybe even over a month, maybe a month and a half. And it worked for me. I didn't really have too many issues. I always bring 1 disposable for backup, just in case the vape gets lost, like it goes down a mountain, or it breaks on me. Yeah, so let me see if that's everything I wrote. Oh, and then the batteries. So like I said, you can charge the batteries through the vape, or you can have a battery or a charger for the batteries. And I brought a charger. I got a really cheap one off Amazon, and it weighs literally 0.45 ounces. And so it weighs nothing. So I bring that, and it works whether I'm at a hotel, or sometimes they'll charge the batteries when I'm on trail, but that's pretty rare. Okay, and to break it down, 1 bottle of vape juice, about 100 milliliters, lasts me about 10 to 14 days, so about 2 weeks. Once I got back home to heal, in my last video it showed car driving and then my bird. Came back home, my dad picked me up from Lancaster, from Pumpkin Patch's mom's house. And once I came back home, I ate so many slices of chocolate pie and mochi that I got fat. You could probably see in this video, got plumpy. I knew that gaining weight off trail was normal and that I should watch out, but I didn't care because I was so depressed about my injury, or it's not even an injury, my past injury, I guess, flaring up, and I just didn't care if I gained weight or not. I was just trying to make myself feel better with chocolate cake. And about a month, I would say, is when my appetite became normal. So I had hiker hunger when I came home, and I ate like 4 slices of pie a day. Like, I'm not even kidding. And mochi, a box of mochi a day. It was getting expensive. But about a month in now, my appetites became normal. I'm having regular sized meals. And now I'm going to be getting ready to go back on trail, so I'm trying to lose weight. And I also think that my sciatica pain was from losing weight. They say that gaining or losing weight can trigger it. And I've thought past it to the other times that I got it. And it was when I was lost weight kind of rapidly. And so I think that's the issue. So I might have this issue again moving forward, because I do want to lose weight, but maybe if I just make sure I do it slowly, I won't have the pain. You really do want to lighten your load as much as possible. This is what I didn't realize when I first started, because I just, you see Wild and you see Reese Witherspoon carry a 100-pound pack, and she made it all the way to Washington. But the thing is you absolutely can finish the trail with a 60-pound pack. It's just more enjoyable if you have a lighter pack. And I didn't understand that until now. For my height, 5'1", I would say you want to make sure your base weight is under 17. So like 10 to 17 pounds is the sweet spot for my height. That's what I would say. Obviously, if you're bigger, you might be able to carry more and more comfortably. But so I'm trying to get it down lower right now. My next topic is mental health. If your mental health before trail is terrible, unfortunately the trail won't fix that. I hope, I wish, but it didn't happen. It might even exacerbate it, honestly. My mental health has been touch and go for a very long time, but I've gotten my depression under control and my anxiety for the past, I would say, the past few years. I do get, relapses of bad mental health. I have random days where it comes back, and sometimes it sticks around for a few days, sometimes weeks. Like when I got back home from the trail, I would say it was here for 2 weeks, the depression. And that was environmental, because I had gotten off trail and I didn't know if I was going to be able to get back on trail, and everyone was just passing me by. Now that I'm able to get back on trail, people are leaving the Sierras. They're in Northern California or even in Oregon right now. And so that really brought me down. I also have anxiety too, but that's under control. However, my emotions on trail were stronger than normal, I would say. So depression was deeper and joy was higher. The last day on the San Jacinto, I was so upset that day and emotional, and I cried so much. It's really sharp in my mind. It was just a very, very stressful day. It's not a walk in the woods. You're in survival mode for most of it, I would say. At least in the desert, you're always thinking about water and food and mountain lions, rattlesnakes, and so you're kind of always in survival mode, whether it's a little bit or a lot. The trail also can help too, I would say. The sun exposure gives you a good stream amount of vitamin D. Also, the people on trail are amazing, and socializing is showed to be helpful in mental health, and it is, extremely is. So there's definitely benefits to the trail as well. So let's move on. Food is a big boost, so make sure to always keep a treat for every day you're on trail. It is a huge boost. I can't tell you how many times a Snicker bar would just bring me joy. Like Darwin said in his videos, Darwin the YouTuber, he said in one of his videos, having a creative outlet is a big deal. It helps keep you sane and express yourself on trail. Whether it's YouTube videos, sketching, photography, hosting a podcast, whatever. There's so many different outlets. Writing songs, guitar, ukulele. So yeah, I would say that's one of the biggest things when you're planning your hike, is to have an outlet. I mean, even Heather Anderson was journaling, I think, on her fastest known time of the PCT. I mean, that's how she got her book. So I definitely agree with that. Shakedown hikes. My shakedown hikes didn't really show me anything because I only did 1 to 2 days. I'd say at least do 5 to 7 days. Even maybe a mini through hike, or even a bigger through hike. Just a through hike before a through hike, because it would have been so much more helpful for me. A lot of my gear was fine for 1 or 2 days, but it's not once you get on trail. And also another thing is, if it's mildly annoying when you're at home, it's going to be super annoying when you're on trail. So keep that in mind. My feet. So my feet did stretch out half a size. They started off at 6.5s and now they're 7s. Sometimes it's just inflammation, and so it'll go down after a few weeks. But for me, it really did flatten it out. So I had to buy new camp slippers. Women's underwear. So I wore a thong, briefs, and boxers on trail. I tried them all out. And these are my notes. I would say briefs were the most annoying for me. Not only does it show panty lines in my pants, but I had wedgies galore. It was just so annoying for me. It wasn't comfortable. Thongs for me were actually really comfortable. But because of the small fabric, it doesn't absorb sweat as much. And so it wasn't my first choice, but I do bring one just in case. But the most comfortable for me were boxers, and they absorbed sweat and barely got any wedgies and no panty lines. I wore the brand Woxers, woman boxers, and they're so great. They're so soft. They're comfortable. I recommend them. 10 stars out of 10, amazing. Like everyone says when you get to town, eat light meat, eat greens and veggies, and kombucha. Kombucha is great, man. After I drink kombucha, I feel so much better for some reason. I loved going to the bunk houses on trail. It made me feel like how boarding houses felt in the early 1900s, where you had all these different people staying for a month or so, and they would eat dinner together, and you would meet just all these different types of people. That's kind of how the trail feels like. Facing fears. You will most definitely face at least one fear when you're on trail. I don't care what it is. I know it. I definitely faced many fears on trail, like rattlers, ticks, being alone, and most importantly, mountain lions. It is for sure has made me stronger. Pumpkin Patch faced their fear. They were afraid of ants, and the night we all stayed together, they were cowboy camping, and they got swarmed by ants. I mean, thousands, millions maybe. It was insane, the amount of ants. So yeah, and I'm sorry I don't get these big events on camera. I'm going to try so much harder to get them on camera because it bugs me too. But when I'm in that moment, I just don't think to get my camera out. I mean, Dixie is amazing that she got the footage of the mountain lion, quite honestly. I can't believe that. So I'm going to try harder, okay, guys? And I'm going to try to get some better shots and really work on my cinematography. When I'm back on trail, though, I am going to try to unplug from my phone a bit more. Not in so much as filming, but watching TV shows, podcasts, reading books, and all that. If the multiple universe theory is true, I wrote this, I died like 5 times on trail. No lie. There were maybe more than that. There were so many times. So, these are the items I lost on when my backpack fell off a mountain. I lost my vape, my umbrella, my battery pack, my cord, my water hose, and the end pull of my trekking pole, the end part. So I don't know how. I really don't know how, but it popped out. So the other 2 compartments of the trekking pole are fine. And I was able to replace all of it. Black Diamond is awesome. You can buy the part online. The umbrella I bought from Gossamer Gear, and it's different. Even though it's the same umbrella that I had previously, they used different fabric. They have different everything. But I think it's because it's 2 ounces lighter. When I had originally bought this umbrella, I think almost 2 years ago, it was 8 ounces. And now their new umbrella is 6.5, I want to say. But it's different. So I'm hoping it's still as good, because my original umbrella was freaking amazing. It did wind amazingly and rain, and it was, I don't know, I loved it. So we'll see. All right, and I guess I'll just talk about some of the gear. So recently I've bought every kind of Z-Mat. So the Thermarest, the Nemo, and Xped. I've bought those 3. And I can tell you which ones are the best. For me, I guess. The Nemo is the best. It's the most comfortable. It's like 1/2 ounce heavier than the Thermarest, which is nothing. But yeah, it's the most comfortable. Then Thermarest is the second comfortable. and the regular comes up to I think 14 ounces. And then there's the Exped, which I bought, and that one's only 10 ounces for the same length, but it's not as comfortable. Definitely not. So that's my categories. I think I've already talked about this in one of my videos, but the knock bags, they kept failing on me. I have like four or five. One got a tear at the top. Bunch have holes by the nozzle, even though I seal them, and they can't carry water. You can use it to push water through a squeeze, but to actually carry water in your backpack, leaks. I've always had leaks with them, and it's sad because I love it. I love those bags. I've bought in so many of them. But the water bottles, the Knock water bottles, I've never had an issue with, and I've held water in them. They're amazing. I already talked about my umbrellas, my tent. So, I want to tell you guys, I am not done. I'm getting back on a trail, and I'm getting all my gear ready for that trail. And I won't be taking my tarp tent, unfortunately. I love my tarp tent, I do. But I've had to get gear tags because of the guideline. You can have it taut when you go to sleep, but if it's windy, the guideline must be pulling out, I guess, and so it comes in and it flaps on my face. So I've bought a few things to try to see if I can get the guidelines to tighten with a secondary tightener. We'll see if those work, but I'm just going to take my duplex out. Plus I can put all my gear in the duplex. It's just a lot easier, and it handles wind, I think, better too than my tarp tent. But I still love my tarp tent. I bought poles for it even. The poles the front and the back pole only weighs 8 ounces. And so with my tent, which is 16 ounces, that's 1.5 pounds for a complete shelter. That's pretty freaking amazing. I don't know. And then I'm kind of thinking about buying the Nemo Hornet, the one person, because I don't know, a freestanding tent kind of sounds awesome, but I'm not going there yet. I think it's sold out everywhere anyways. So yeah, that's talking about my gear. Z-Packs sleeping bag. I have the 10 degree. I've had it in 20 degree weather. It's amazing. Everyone's sleeping on their bags, like not buying them. They're buying everyone else's bags, but they're really light. I think it's 23 ounces for a 10 degree bag. I mean, that's incredibly light. So I definitely agree with it. My Thermarest X-Lite Woman's, once I patched it at Lake Marina, it's never had a leak again. So their patch system works great. And what else? My backpack. So I love the Osprey backpack, but when I get back on trail, I'm going to go back to my Z-Packs and see what it can do. I put a lot of miles on the Osprey, and now it's time to test out my Z-Packs backpack and see if it's all it can be. So yeah, that's basically the basis of gear. Obviously I'll make a gear video when I'm done with this hike. And lastly, let's see, I've been off trail for a few weeks now, healing, and I'm feeling basically back to normal. So I'll be heading back onto a trail, but damn, being off trail was so depressing. Yes, it was so fucking depressing. I ate so much crap food and spent so much money. Yes, I spent so much money on gear. A lot of gear that I'm not even going to be able to use. Like I bought a 50 degree quilt off Enlightened Equipment with its pink and aqua. I'm so excited to see it. And it's only 9 ounces. But I don't need it right now. I mean, I guess I could use it. I don't know. And then I also bought my custom backpack. That's not gonna be here for a couple months. So yeah, I bought a bunch of stuff I didn't need, and I was trying to fill the void that not hiking had left on me. So beware when you get home from a thru hike about that void, no longer getting your dopamines in. I also researched the shit out of gears and trail, and I'm like obsessed. I'm ready to get back out there. So keep watching, guys. This YouTube is not dead. I'm gonna be back out there, and it's gonna be bigger and better. Over and out.